Okay, hello G. A very warm good afternoon to all of you today. So we are doing this special session on CLAT 2025. My name is Aman, and today in our session we will be talking about the 15 do's and don'ts for CLAT 2025. The admit cards are already out. I know बहुत सारी एंजाइटी अब होनी शुरू हो चुकी होगी. अगर नहीं हो रही है तो होनी जरूरी है वो, बिकॉज द एग्जाम इज राइट हियर, राइट. एंड आई होप आप सब लोगों का प्रिपरेशन, आप लोगों का जो भी आपने फाइनलाइज की हुई थी अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी एज पर योर मॉक टेस्ट, वो सब सही चल रहा है. लेकिन आज हम बस बात करने वाले हैं 15 ऐसे पॉइंट्स जो कि आपको डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली ध्यान में रखने हैं इन द लास्ट फ्यू डेज, एंड 15 डोंट्स फॉर क्लैट, राइट, जो कि आपको ध्यान देना है कि आप नहीं कर रहे हैं, राइट. एंड वी विल होप, वी आर होपिंग कि ये सारे पॉइंट्स अगर आप ध्यान में रखेंगे, सो आपका जो प्रिपरेशन है वो और अच्छा होगा, एंड यू विल बी एबल टू स्कोर really well in your final exam, and you will make it to your dream college, right? So without wasting any time, right, guys, let's start. Let's deep dive right into these points. ये क्या चीजें हैं जिनको आपको बहुत ध्यान रखना है when you are doing your preparation. So let's see. Let's start with the first thing, right? So admit cards are out. We already know that. I hope आपने उनको download कर लिया है. So that's the first thing you need to do, right? Important do's for CLAT. Firstly, we will talk about important do's जिसको आपको ध्यान में रखना है. Firstly, underline important points, exceptions, right? All the ingredients that कुछ भी आपको ऐसा मिलता है in the passage, make it a point that you are able to underline it. Importantly, very importantly, guys, last year ऐसा हमको सुनने में आया था कि बहुत सारे सेंटर्स में ये बोला गया कि यू आर नॉट सपोज टू राइट एनीथिंग ऑन द क्वेश्चन पेपर. अगर ये आपके सेंटर पे होता है कुछ भी ऐसा, यू कैन ऑलवेज टेल योर इन्विजिलेटर कि ऐसा कहीं पर भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस में नहीं दिया गया था, राइट. इनफैक्ट सो बहुत सारे लोग, यू कैन एक्चुअली अंडरलाइन what you are reading. So please make it a point that you do that. And plus, because you have practiced all along on those lines, right? Whenever you were preparing for your mocks, right? You were doing that. So अगर आपको last में आकर अगर ऐसा एकदम से मालूम होता है कि you can't do that, that could be a big challenge. So ऐसा मत होने दीजिएगा. Otherwise also you can always speak to them. You can always talk to them that that is not the case, right? You will have to enlighten them as well at times, right? But you should underline all the important points even during all these mocks which you are going to attempt in the last few days. Make it a habit that you are doing that. Also, one more thing what you can do is कि जो आपने mock कर लिया है, even when you are doing the revision or you are trying to analyze your mocks, do look at these important points, exceptions, phrases जो आपने underline किए हैं, and try to see whether you can make sense of the entire passage just by reading those highlighted parts, right? That would be a really good exercise for you, really good exercise for the last few days, right? Read every single word properly of like for all the questions. Do not make that error कि आपने कुछ भी miss किया, guys. Keep in mind, skimming through or skipping में फर्क है, right? So we always say that you should skim through the content. You can skim through, but you should not skip. Why? Because usually आपको जो questions हैं वो ऐसे ही frame किए जाते हैं कि जहां पर आप जैसे कुछ skip करेंगे, you will make that error. तो ऐसा मत होने दीजिएगा. Please keep that thing in mind. Understand the reasoning behind the answer instead of guesswork. Guesswork का कोई काम नहीं है. The whole exam is based on reasoning. Eliminate the questions where you have to read it more than twice, right? There could be questions जहां पे आपको initially feel हो रहा है that you are spending more time, right? For the time being, you can leave that question and move on. You can always come back to such a question right at the end of the exam. So don't worry about that. There is enough time. Again, if you have any doubts about this, have a look at the last 3 years CLAT paper, right? Why I'm saying this? Because maybe the mocks you are attempting, वहां पर जो difficulty level है, maybe that is on the higher side. But if you will have a look at the last 3 years question papers, CLAT papers, you will realize that papers, the last 3 year CLAT papers were on the easier side, right? So easier side का मतलब, again, there are a lot of issues with respect to that as well, that the cutoffs will go high and all of that, but ऐसा नहीं होगा, right? So जहाँ पे आपको feel हो, you may do that. Regularly give mocks to keep up with the stamina. This is very important. Not just that you have to score well, but we have to keep up with the stamina part as well. Simulate exam day like conditions, right? So that means try and give few mocks at starting at 2 o'clock, right? 2 to 4, because that is the exam for the CLAT day, right? That is the timing for the exam day as well. So please try and do that. Okay, analyze the mock after attempting it, and not just the incorrect answers. Do have a look at the other options as well, or the questions which you have marked correctly. For example, if there was a particular question which you remember, right, although you have got it correct, but if you remember that you had to spend more than 10, 15, 30 seconds on that, right, then do have a look at the explanation as well, right? It may give you some new information which may be really, really helpful for you, right? Going ahead, right? Going for the final exam, और वहां पे आपको उस पॉइंट पे ज्यादा क्लैरिटी भी मिल सकती है. Spend time internalizing the common mistakes made, right? This will really help you, right? जो आप बार बार same mistakes कर रहे हैं, take some time off, right? When you're doing your mock analysis, आप देखें कि आपसे किस type की mistakes हो रही हैं, and give your body and mind rest after each analysis, right? What was the need for us to do this particular session? Because we are hearing students are trying to give 3 mocks in a day. Now, if you're attempting 3 mocks in a day, that means you're not firstly doing the analysis right, and secondly, आपको जो रेस्ट मिलना चाहिए, जो आपके माइंड को एक ब्रेक मिलना चाहिए, guys, वो नहीं मिलेगा. So please don't do that. It may impact your score or the result, right, on that particular day, on the day, right? So rest is very important. So make sure that after you have done your mock, right, and maybe the next day after you have done the analysis, don't do this, that you are giving 3 mocks and then you are trying to analyze on all the mocks in the same day, and then you are trying to revise something else. It will just get too much, right? Brush up on legal terms and vocab. Again, there may not be a direct question on this, but if you do this, what will happen? It will help you with your comprehension ability. It will definitely help you with your reading speed as well. And you all know by now that how important these two factors are for this particular exam, right? Quality study then quantity study. I know आजकल क्या हो रहा होगा, it is more about the number of hours, but you also have to study. You should also know what are your strengths, what are your weak areas, what are your strong areas, what are your strengths, right? And make a plan according to that. Just don't go for what others are trying to do, right? Maybe a 12-hour day or 15, 16-hour a day. You can do that. Please do that as well. But please do have a plan in place, right? So that is what we mean by quality study. Do have a plan in mind. जो भी आप एरियाज पे ज्यादा काम करने का सोच रहे हैं, वो हमेशा आपकी प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट में ऊपर होने चाहिए हैं. For example, people who are scoring in the range of 80 to 90, right? They need not look at the LA topics again and again. वो हो चुके हैं, right? You should be focusing more on something else जहां पे आप अभी भी अपना score increase कर सकते हो, right? So that is something you should keep in mind. Practice reading speed, like speed reading every day. आपको इस पे you should be trying and do this, right? And till the last day, you should not stop reading the newspapers. Newspapers are not just for your GK section. उनका एक और भी purpose है, just to keep you in the right frame of mind, just to help you with your speed reading part. तो उस पे don't negotiate, don't compromise on that, right? Revise GK and your current affairs on a regular basis. Practice previous year questions. It doesn't matter, राइट, कि आपको क्या लगता है कि कौन से क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं, नहीं आ सकते हैं. दोज क्वेश्चंस आर रियली रियली recommended for practice. or whenever you are in doubt, on our left side there is Master Ugwe. I hope you guys have seen Kung Fu Panda. So Master Ugwe says, if you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are now, right? So keep that thing in mind. You have to at least try and do more, right? You have to challenge yourself, and that is how you will be able to crack this exam. Okay, so now we have talked a bit about the do's, right? But I think for this particular exam, the don'ts also are equally important. What are the important don'ts जो आपको नहीं करना है? Do not skip words such as not true or incorrect. I know ये आप लोगों के साथ already हो रहा है. A lot of students, when they are preparing for CLAT and when they are giving mocks, they say they use a particular term which is silly mistake. I did a silly mistake, right? Or silly mistake को usually क्या होती है, that you are not paying attention to these words. For example, the question was, what is the author trying to imply? Or the question could be what the author is not trying to imply. And even after reading the word not, you have not paid attention to this word, right? And you will make the error. So wherever you see these words, these exceptions being made, do not skip such words. Do not spend too much time on the passages. If there is any passage which you are struggling with, what you can do, you can directly go to the questions, have a look there, right? If you feel that they are again on the difficult side, you may leave that passage for the time being. But at times we have seen that passages which are difficult to comprehend, they usually have easier questions, right? So ये आप देख सकते हैं, rather than spending too much time on the passage trying to comprehend whatever is there, आप ये भी एक चीज try कर सकते हैं. Do not apply prior knowledge to questions instead of what is given in the passage. Very, very important, especially for legal aptitude. Whatever is given to you, that should be treated as the law. You are not supposed to use your prior knowledge, although in the last 2 to 3 years, CLAT has not been asking too many of these questions, but you never know. You're not supposed to use your prior knowledge. There could be a question which is coming to my mind, right? So CLAT asks, so the principle given was on kidnapping, right? So and after explaining what kidnapping is, the last line said that, and it is not a crime in India, right? So if we are reading this and the principal is saying that kidnapping is not a crime, then our answer has to be that Mr. X is not liable because kidnapping is not a crime, although it's a case of kidnapping, but it is not an offense, right? So that is how you have to train your mind, right? You have to use the information that has been provided to you, right? Do not get lost in finishing an entire section with 100% accuracy. और ये ऑलरेडी आप लोगों के साथ हो रहा है, right? You're already facing issues with that, especially with your favorite sections, favorite section, that is legal aptitude, or you could have the same issue with any other section as well, जहां पे आपको feel होता है that you can score well, and because of that you end up giving more time to that particular section. So all we are saying is, let's not do that, right? One section is not important. Our idea is not to get a good score in one particular section. The idea is to the idea is to crack the exam. The idea is to score well in the exam, right? So that is something you should keep in mind. Do not ignore any section, right? And when I say any, the first name that comes to our mind is the QA section. A lot of people are not attempting QA section, or they don't plan to attempt QA section, right? It could be true for any other section as well. It will depend from person to person, but please do not ignore any section. There is a good chance that the section you are planning to leave or you are ignoring, that could be the easiest section in that particular exam or in this exam, right? So it will not make sense for us to ignore any sections. Do go through all the sections, do give the respect they deserve, right, in the final exam. Point number 6 is do not cross the sectional time limit. I'm sure you have practiced a lot, right? You have given enough mocks now, and you are keeping in mind the sectional time limits for yourself. Do not cross that, not in the mocks, not in the final exam as well. As I just said, उससे क्या प्रॉब्लम होगा? आप किसी एक ऐसे सेक्शन पे ज्यादा टाइम दे सकते हैं जो कि शायद इस बार के क्लैट में सबसे मुश्किल सेक्शन हो, और उसकी वजह से आपका कोई ऐसा सेक्शन खराब हो सकता है जो शायद इस साल के मॉक में या फाइनल एग्जाम में वो इजी आया हो, राइट? सो लेट्स नॉट डू दैट, राइट? डू नॉट लेट वन टफ सेक्शन डीमोरलाइज यू. आई बीन सेइंग दिस. एक सेक्शन डिफिकल्ट आ सकता है, बट there is no reason why you cannot clear the exam after dealing with that tough section as well. If it is tough for you, it will be tough for everyone, right? So don't feel demoralized that this section is going really bad, right? We have to be in the flow while we are giving the exam, right? So don't let that flow break, right? Do not give 10 mocks at once and then analyze them later at once. I know there's a lot of pressure. Time को लेके बहुत issue है, anxiety है. The exam is also here. A lot of people are trying to attempt 3 mocks a day, 2 mocks a day, right? But I think whenever you give a mock, the only way you can justify your time, right, and your attempt is by analyzing it. So ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप 4 या 5 या 10 mocks एक साथ देंगे and then you say that एक दिन में बैठकर I will analyze all my mocks at once. Again, if you do that, you will not be able to internalize, all right, as we were saying, the mistakes you are making. You will not be able to understand what you need to do. तो वो नहीं कीजिए. Spend a lot of time on the analysis part, and one mock at a time, right? One mock, then you analyze it. That is the way it should be, right? Do not revise the topics, but attempt practice sets as well. तो आप practice बहुत बहुत important है guys. So mocks आपको help कर रहे हैं. बहुत सारे लोगों को ये लग सकता है. I think revision is very very important for 2 sections, which is the QA section and the GK section. But other than that, I think the practice, more you practice, the better it will be for you. So सिर्फ revise मत कीजिएगा. Just keep on attempting your sections, right? Your sets as well. Do not leave topics of current affairs and QA for the last few days. I know ये भी एक plan है कि हम last 2 दिन सिर्फ और सिर्फ CA और QA ही करेंगे, which is fine. If you are planning to revise, on the last 2 days, that's perfectly fine. But you should not be doing GK or doing new topics on the last 2 days or trying to get more information, right? तो वो last के 2 दिन के लिए मत कीजिएगा. It can have a negative impact on your preparation as well. ये भी हो सकता है कि आपको last में आके feel हो कि maybe it is just too much or maybe it is not worth your time, right? So that should not happen. Okay, so that is also very important here. Okay, you just need to believe and you must believe, right? So ये एक बहुत important point है for the last few days, guys, that whenever you are attempting your mocks, whenever you are dreaming about your college, you have to believe that you can do it. No matter how many days are left, no matter how or what other people are telling you, आपको ये फीलिंग हमेशा रखनी है कि मैं ये कर सकता हूं. एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू हैपन, राइट? यू हैव टू tell yourself कि ये होने वाला है. And that's how good things usually happen in life, right? So please do that. You must believe that you can do it. Okay, do not prepare just the important topics for CA, जो कि in the final few days you will get a lot of lists which are there in the market कि these are the most important 200, 500, 1000. Just don't do that. Those should be used for your revision, right? But otherwise आपको और जो topics हैं उनको तैयार करना चाहिए है. If mock score dips, what do? We try and work on it. We try and understand why is it happening. We don't panic if mock scores are going down or there is slight fluctuation. It is bound to happen. It also depends on the difficulty level of the exam. So don't worry about that. Don't let that thing, uh, you know, negatively impact your mindset, right? So don't let that thing happen, right? Do not make so many changes to strategy this close to the exam. Whatever you have done, have faith in that. बहुत major changes in the last 1 week, please मत कीजिएगा. वो changes हो तो जाएंगे, but एग्जाम डे पे वो आपके लिए प्रॉब्लमैटिक भी हो सकते हैं, because again you are not used to those changes and you are doing it these changes in the last 1 week. It may not have the desired result for you on the day. So please don't do that. Do not disregard emotional readiness and do not compromise on sleep, food, and health. This is the most important thing, right? Because if you're not in the right state of mind, trust me, वो जो 2 घंटे हैं right during the exam, वो बहुत मुश्किल हो सकते हैं. So please take care of your health. Sleep well, right? Have good food. You should be in the right frame of mind, और उसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि आपकी body जो है वो भी एक right frame of mind में रहे. So please guys, all these pointers, right? Ensure that you pay attention to all these points, right? And in case you have any other queries, we are here to help you, right? So you can call us at this number 9599980111, or you can ping us as well, right? So whatever way you want to use, right, please use that. We'll be more than happy to help you, right? We can also have one-on-one mentorships for students who are interested and who are in the final stages of their preparation. We would love to do that, right? So that's all from our side at Team Pratham. We wish you all the best for the exam, and I would request you to please like our channel, subscribe to it, so that whenever we are posting new videos, right, you get the alerts for the same. So thank you guys, all the best. Bye bye.